So I'm going to dive into a little bit more of the rules about inequalities. So far we've been working with things where the inequality, we can kind of think of it like an equal sign. But I'm going to show you another rule, the next progression for this. So consider this first. If I said 4 is less than 8, we know that that's a true statement. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this, I'm going to manipulate this a little bit to see what happens to our inequality. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add 1. If I add 1 to both sides, okay, I would get 5 is less than 9. Hey, the statement is still true. So what this is saying is that I can do addition on either side and my inequality is not changed. Okay, again, so if I do my 4 is less than 8, okay, what if I subtracted 1? If I subtract 1 on each side, I get 3 less than 7. Well, and so that's a true statement also. So I can subtract something on both sides and still have it work. Okay. If let's say 4 is less than 8. Okay, if I was to multiply, so I'm going to multiply by 2. Multiply by 2. Okay, so 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. And my inequality, I'm just going to copy it the way it was and just to check to see if it's a true statement. And yes, that is also still a true statement. Okay, we're going to look at a couple more here. So our beginning statement, 4 is less than 8. Okay, this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply by a negative 2. Multiply by a negative 2. So 4 times negative 2 gives me negative 8. 8 times negative 2 gives me negative 16. Okay, I'm going to rewrite my inequality and I'm going to stop and say, is this a true statement still? Is negative 8 less than negative 16? And the answer is no. This does not work. So one more thing we have to do is that this inequality will now get flipped. So if we are going to multiply both sides by a negative number, we have to flip the inequality to keep that a true statement. Okay, let's look at it with dividing by a negative number. Okay, so I'm going to divide this side by negative 2. I divide this side by negative 2. 4 divided by negative 2 gives me negative 2. 8 divided by negative 2 gives me negative 4. Okay, does that inequality still work? Negative 2 less than negative 4? And the answer is no, it doesn't work. That inequality must be flipped over from the original. So here's the basic rule. If you divide or multiply both sides by a negative number, you must flip your inequality. Okay, and then one more addition to that. If this was a less than or equal to, it just gets flipped to a greater than and equal to. The equals obviously is not going to flip. Okay, there's an advisory here. So do not change the direction of the inequality symbol just because you see a negative sign. So just because the negative is here, we don't have to change the inequality. Because to solve this, we're dividing by 4. Dividing by 4, x is less than negative 6. So we divided both sides by a positive number, which will keep our inequality the same.